Greetings, my name is Monty Martin, and welcome back to the Fate of Drakkenheim. This is the Dungeon Dudes weekly Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition actual play campaign, and I am your Dungeon Master this evening.
And I'm Kelly McLaughlin, playing Sebastian Crow, the half-elf shadow sorcerer. And we're joined today by nobody. Because I'm dead.
This is going to be an interesting game tonight, but thank you for joining us once again. If you're just tuning in for the very first time, welcome. We are the Dungeon Dudes, and Kelly and I post new videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays on our YouTube channel, where we cover everything D&D, including advice for players and guides for GMs, so be sure to check out the channel.
You can also join us on Tuesday evenings when we broadcast the campaign on Twitch. Check us out from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also catch the video episodes of the show on YouTube or check us out as an audio-only podcast as well.
And if you enjoy the show, make sure that you like and subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Shall we enter into the Shadowlands of Drakkenheim? You ready?
Yeah.
Drakkenheim is no more. The devastation which fell upon that accursed place left a kingdom in ruin. Now, horrors lurking in the haze grow ever more great and terrible, while simmering tensions between rival factions boil over into outright war. The power of monarchs, mages, and priests hangs in the balance. 6 unlikely heroes join forces to confront the coming chaos. They shall decide, once and for all, the fate of Drakkenheim.
When last we left our heroes, Sebastian had died. The memories of that moment still replay in your mind, and your manifestation in the Shadowlands is, in fact, that of the wounded corpse of Sebastian. So you bear the scars of the sort of, you feel this kind of crack in your neck from when you hit the ground, and part of your face and skin are acid burned, exposing a bit of the bone underneath. You have entered through the shores of the Shadowland, climbed upon the cliffs and rocks, and come face to face with your mother, Lenneth Eventide. As the two of you begin walking the Shadowlands, you have a peculiar moment, because as you recall, or may not recall, your friends did attempt to bring you back to life, but you've refused that for now. And at another point, Lenneth stops and pauses. Her eyes flicker and her mouth whispers unheard words. And she says, "Your friend Wrath just contacted me. It seems he's found my spellbook and has used your magic that you learned from the book."
He's going through my stuff?
Well, that is to be expected. You leave behind all your mortal remains and your earthly possessions. Which is why I should note you have no magic items that you would normally possess.
I look to my hand that was carrying a staff a second ago, and it's gone.
Lenneth smiles and she says, "The trappings of your imagined self follow you into the Shadowlands, but they have no power here."
I imagine that while I'm in the Shadowlands, I still have like the cloak and everything, but everything's black.
Yeah.
It's all black. Black cloak, black shirt, black pants, black boots, black goggles.
The Shadowlands themselves manifest mostly in shades of gray. Where the few bits of color emerge, they are almost entirely desaturated and form sickly and depressed hues of green, blue, purple, and occasionally flashes of motes of yellow light that hang in the air. Were it not for your innate dark vision, you might not be able to see at all as you move through the Shadowlands. But everything as well, as far as it gets further away from you, becomes blurrier and indistinct. Everything has a sense of intangibility to it, as if you could walk through it, pass your fingers to it, and it would just be like vapor here in the Shadowlands. And a deathly pallor holds over almost everything. Every stone through the glimpse has the shape of a bone to it. Every bit of bark on the trees that you pass and the fallen masonry almost bears the markings of a screaming visage or a moaning figure. There is a strange sense as you pass through the Shadowlands of familiarity, of places that you've been before, of places that you've walked through. And Lenneth explains, indeed, the Shadowlands are a dark reflection of our mortal world. Things mirror between these two places, though spirits do not often arrive in the Shadowlands at precisely the place that they died.
Where are we?
We could be anywhere. The Shadowlands stretch on endlessly, and yet there are destinations here.
I mean, this is my first time in the Shadowlands, but this is always where my magics come from.
Indeed. For some, the Shadowlands are a temporary journey. Their spirits find a place to remain and linger. Some spirits wander the Shadowlands until they find the place where they died. This is how ghosts, specters, wraiths, undead spirits manifest in the mortal world. For some mortals, the trauma of their deaths is so powerful that they wander the Shadowlands until they find that place, and there they linger forever, trying to find the meaning in their life, or the purpose or absolution in their death. Some hold on to that grief forever. Other spirits hang heavy with guilt, regret, but cannot face the truth. They wander here until they find the abyss. We must avoid the abyss.
That's a
Sebastian.
good thing I don't have any guilt or regrets, and I'm not looking for my purpose here.
The hounds of hell will dog us here, for both you and I are spirits marked. There are many in the depths of hell who would love to grip our souls and remake us into something more fitting for their purposes.
Yeah, I have an old friend. Been after my soul for a while, actually.
So you have encountered.
He who laughs last?
Mm-hmm.
A few times, yeah. Pretty sure he has mouse, which has kind of caused us to run into each other on several occasions, which I know you just kind of said that we want to avoid them, but is this possibly a pathway I can take to find her?
In your current state, you must choose carefully what you want to do with your time here. The tether that I created between us and the Shadowlands when you were born is powerful and allows you to have some measure of your mortal power here in the Shadowlands. But if you lose that, it's gone. Mechanically, you get the benefits of a long rest. However, you don't have any of your magic items here. And for all intents and purposes, you are effectively a simulacrum of Sebastian. This means that you cannot regain spell slots from resting.
Oh.
Once you use them, you can spend sorcery. You can't get sorcery points back either from resting. You will never get any spell slots back from. You can rest here to regain hit points, but that's it. Furthermore, there is no death and dying in the Shadowlands. If you are reduced to 0 hit points, that's it.
Do I get Strength of the Grave?
Yes.
Cool. Hopefully I'll remember it. But basically, if you die in the Shadowlands, you die in real life?
No, it's worse than that. If you are, well, you are here on borrowed power. The others that you see in the Shadowlands, many of them are but shades. They do not have the power that they possessed in life. And the power that you have been granted, the power through our connection, you have that here once. That's all I can give you. If you lose it, you will just be like all the other shades of the Shadowlands. Because you have this power as well, the spirits and shades of the Shadowlands will be drawn to you like moths to a flame, for you have the semblance of life about you, a vitality that they lack and do not possess. You may encounter some here that have been able to grasp on to what power they can. In theory, if you wanted to do so, you could do as I have done. You can consume the shades that you find here. If you do so, you can restore some of your power.
At what cost?
It is no worse for that spirit than annihilation.
I mean, annihilation doesn't sound pleasant.
No, it's not. But we do what must be done. I myself have been here for a long time, and my power has grown thin. I will be able to follow you, but for any battles that you have here, the only help I can offer you is my advice.
You've been here 31 years? My birthday was sometime.
Yes. I've been waiting a long time for you to come here, Sebastian, and to come here with the strength and power to do what was necessary to be done, to bring me back in. 30 years to wander the Shadowlands is a long time. I don't have the strength that I used to have, and so I need you to see this through. Because I can't on my own. There are some things that I will be able to do, but I have drank deep and pulled from wells of power that were long stored away in order to make it this long, and I am almost at the end of my power.
How many souls did you consume?
It is a thing that is better not contemplated.
But were those people not trying to find their way to a light or to an afterlife, or were they robbed of that by this?
The only consolation that I can offer you on that front is that I sought only spirits I felt were bound for the abyss.
I mean, I suppose that's fair. But Mother, one other question. You speak as though your intention was always to have me end up here. Sooner rather than later. If you're at the end of your power, were you hoping on me showing up here?
Sebastian, I was hoping that you would show up here with the strength, ingenuity, and power that I expected from my own son. And I could not be more proud of the man that has arrived here.
Wow, I don't hear that very often. Thanks.
Had you come here as a child, had you come here without the power and strength of magic that you have now, you would not be able to do what we need to do while we are here. And you would not be able to do what we're going to accomplish together.
What is it you want to accomplish? Because we have a lot going on the mortal realm right now. Things that I'm deeply intertwined with, and as much as I'm excited to see you, me ending up here was not at an opportune moment, and my friends need help, and I've heard that people have sort of, when they have a near-death experience, they see the world a little bit different. Nobody really talks about full death experiences, but I really need to make sure that if we're going back there, we're going to help my friends. They've done so much to try to help people, and I've been obsessed with my own value and power and position in all of this, but honestly, I just want to make sure they're okay. And so, whatever your goals are, if I'm bringing you back, I need your help to make sure my friends' goals and my goals are also in the works.
Lenneth pauses for a long time. And as she begins to speak, she says, Sebastian, I want to explain myself, but there is danger approaching.
I look around.
Give me a perception check.
I get a 5.
Okay. You hear only the blowing wind, which echoes up and down like a low, angry moan. Lenneth brushes her hand for a moment, and she says, "This is the last bit of power that I can give you while you're here." And as she does so, Reaper and Crowley appear by your side and on your shoulder specifically. And I just sent you their sidekick stat blocks.
Yeah.
So Reaper will be using the rule, well, in the Shadowlands, Reaper will be using the rules for the warrior sidekick, and Crowley will be using the rules for the expert sidekick, both at the same level as you, so level 15. Well, I will roleplay them. You can control them both in combat.
Wonderful.
Cool. And finally, this represents Lenneth, but she can't fight. Place yourself in the middle of the area as Reaper appears and Crowley on your shoulder. The Shadow Hound begins to growl lowly as, clawing up from the drit of the earth around you, come lurching skeletal figures. Their skins, well, you see, the skin is like a soul draped across the skeleton, as if the spirit has dredged up bones of the Shadowlands in order to manifest a corporeal body from which it can reach out at the essence that you hold within you. The spirits form, two on either side. Put them off the road. Yeah. And then another appears in the tree above.
Oh.
The lanky skeletons, the bits of ethereal flesh across their bodies, hold jagged weapons, and armor appears on them that is more like bits of reflective glass or visions of their own lives. Standing in the tree, then, is another figure clothed in deathly vines that reaches out, and their spirits cry. And you can roll for initiative.
Am I rolling just one initiative, or do I roll?
You
them
roll
all?
for Crowley and for Reaper. Yeah.
All right. Sebastian gets a 10. Crowley gets a 6. And Reaper gets a 19.
Okay. Great. Reaper is the first to smell the spirits as they roll up from the earth of the Shadowlands and may act first.
Sebastian points at the closest skeleton and yells, "Sick 'em, boy." And Reaper bounds forward, leaping up to attack the skeleton. So I get 3 bite attacks. Nice. All right. First bite attack, I get a 21 to hit.
All right. Resolve all 3 hits.
A crit.
Okay.
And a 23 to hit.
All right. So Reaper leaps forward to your defense as the Shadow Mastiff appears, launching himself upon the white, tearing into its bones, sending them flying. Roll me the damage.
All right, so for the 2 non-crits, oh man, that was a 1 on both dice.
Oh.
So that's going to be 12 damage plus. Okay. That's another 1. Plus 13.
So 25 total?
Yeah.
Okay. Bits of bone and spiritual essence fly away from this creature, but it still stands. The creature in the... Sorry? Anything else?
Must succeed on a strength saving throw or be knocked prone.
It fails. Reaper pulls it to the ground.
Technically, I guess we would have wanted to do each attack individually because each attack has a chance of knocking it prone.
I mean, all the attacks hit.
True.
You can roll 2 more dice to see if you get any more crits.
I don't.
Okay. All right. In that case, the creature in the trees reaches out, and strands of deathly energy appear in the ground around you, Sebastian, reaching up from the ground, forming tendrils that are not quite roots, but also not quite like clotted blood veins, to entangle you. I get a 20 and a 24 to hit.
Both hit.
Okay. You take 13 necrotic damage, and I need a strength save or you're restrained.
I got a 4.
Okay. The veins reach up, pulling you into the earth, and almost you feel the roadway opening up like something is pulling you under. It is your turn.
I'm gonna quicken Dimension Door.
Okay. You vanish. Up to the trees behind it? Okay. Oh.
Yes, I reappear in the trees behind him.
All right.
Get him.
That works.
And I'm going to... So I quicken
Yeah.
that, so then I will cast Firebolt on the...
Go for it.
I appear behind him. As soon as the vines, or the veins, start wrapping around me, I pop
The
out
viney
of...
veins.
The viney veins.
Yeah. Pop
Pop out of existence. Before he even realizes it, I'm behind him and I blast him with fire. That's going to be 14.
That hits.
Nice. I could use some better dice rolls today, since I'm by myself. That's going to be 12 damage.
Okay. Here in the Shadowlands, the flames appear a hue of purple-blue, and they lick across the creature's body, and it screeches.
Awesome.
All right. Well, next will actually be Crowley.
Crowley's gonna fly over. Actually, let me read Crowley's abilities, because he has some stuff that he can do here.
Yeah. As an expert, Crowley can help as a bonus action.
Yeah.
And can also do cunning actions. And Crowley does have a beak attack that does a little bit of damage, but not much.
It doesn't do much damage, but what it does do is if I use my help, I get an extra 2d6 the next time I hit the creature that I'm helping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Crowley can also help from 30 feet away.
Yeah. Although he does need to get in to use his beak, so I'm gonna help Reaper.
Okay.
And fly in and start pecking at the skeleton's face. If I help and then attack, am I helping myself?
You can't help yourself.
Right. You can help others, but you can't help yourself. When the sidekick takes the help action, the creature receives the help. Cool.
And I think actually gets an extra d6. The expert help is really good.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
The sidekick can deal an extra 2d6 damage to it the next time the sidekick hits it with an attack roll. Okay. So I'm going to try to peck at this skeleton on the ground, getting an 18 to hit.
Does hit. Yeah.
So that's going to be a d4 plus 2d6.
No, but the ally gets the extra 2d6 damage.
When the sidekick uses its helpful feature...
Oh, the sidekick can do an extra 2d6 damage.
That target can be up to 30 feet away from the sidekick, and the sidekick can deal an extra 2d6 damage to the next time the sidekick hits it.
Okay, interesting. Roll. Okay, there it is. You're correct. That's strangely written.
So that's going to be 15 more damage.
Alrighty. It is not destroyed, but the tether is weakening.
Cool.
The skeletons. One stands up from prone, and it lashes back at Reaper. Getting a 7 and a 22 to hit Reaper.
The 22 hits.
Reaper's going to take 6 points of slashing damage. The skeletons ignore Lenneth, and 2 of them dash towards the tree. That one there. and they begin climbing up. The last one's going to go to engage Reaper. And it will attack Reaper once, getting a 16 to hit.
That misses.
And Crowley once, getting a 16 to hit.
That hits.
Crowley takes 6 points of slashing damage. We go to the top of the round with Reaper. Yeah, I think Reaper has like 112 hit points, and Crowley has 45?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and how much just got done to Crowley?
6 to each of them.
Right.
Yeah.
So back to the top with Reaper.
Yeah.
So Reaper is going to attack the same skeleton that he was attacking before, getting a 28.
That's also a hit.
Should I resolve that one?
Yes.
10 damage.
And it is destroyed.
Awesome.
Sidekick's doing a lot of damage right now, Sebastian. I think you got to pick it up a bit.
I mean, I'm doing my job. My job's existing, and the sidekicks are there for my benefit.
As Reaper crashes into the skull and rips it off the body of the skeleton, the intangible spirit hovers in the air, shocked, and continues to linger in that area.
Does it still look threatening?
What you've just seen is what happens when someone in the Shadowlands that has gained vitality has been reduced to 0 hit points.
Cool.
Yeah.
Reaper.
They've lost their what they had of a body, and now this intangible spirit just hangs on in the space in here.
Creepy. Reaper turns to the next skeleton and unleashes 2 more attacks. Oh, I guess also I didn't roll with advantage. He did get the help action from
Yes,
Crowley, so I'm going to roll this one with advantage.
Okay.
Getting a 23.
Yep, and then because you didn't add the extra d6 from Crowley, you can now add the d6 to the damage roll.
Cool. The last attack is a 21.
Did you want to see if you knocked him prone, though?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay, so...
you did, actually, so you do have advantage.
Okay, cool. So let me just resolve that damage then on that attack. So that's going to be an extra d6 from Crowley. So that's going to be 12 more damage.
12 total?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my last attack with advantage gets a 26.
Okay, so it didn't crit, yeah.
For 6 more damage.
Okay. Alrighty. The wood spirit sees you behind it, and growling, it too casts Dimension Door and teleports to the other tree over there.
Oh, cobweb tree.
But then it signals back to entangle you, getting a 22 to hit.
I'm gonna counterspell.
This is actually not an ability that can be counterspelled.
All right, then it hits.
It's going to be 9 necrotic damage and strength saving throw, or restrained.
I got a 6.
You are restrained in the tree. Again.
Oh, man.
Okay. It is your turn, though.
Is it an area that's being affected?
No, it's just you.
Me.
Yeah,
okay.
It's just you.
Question. This is just occurring to me now. You mentioned earlier that if it wasn't for my dark vision, I wouldn't be able to see, implying that it is shadowy.
Everywhere here is shadow.
All right.
Yeah.
As a bonus action, I teleport.
So you didn't even need to use the Dimension Door last turn.
I need to pay attention to my abilities. We all know that. Yeah, I have Shadow Step, so I just teleport 120 feet as a bonus action. Shadow Walk, sorry. And then, so I...
Is that an unlimited use?
It's just, bonus action. So you can just use it. When you are in dim light or darkness as a bonus action, you can teleport up to 120 feet to an unoccupied space you can see that is also in dim light or darkness. So, yeah. Try to entangle me now. Now that I remember I have abilities.
The shock of dying can affect the memory.
Oh yeah, because I was great at remembering my abilities before I died. So with that, I'm gonna just firebolt him again. My spells are a little precious right now. I feel like there's worse battles to come. So we're firebolting. That's gonna be an 18.
It hits.
That's gonna be a 28.
Wow. It cries out as you see bits of the ethereal roots that compose its body burnt away.
So I imagine that this is happening very quickly if he's like teleporting around and I'm...
Yeah, there's kind of like in the forest of the Shadowland, two mages teleporting from tree to tree, attacking each other with fire and roots.
Well, on the ground, there's like this big
dog
bird skeleton battle. It's great. Okay, so that's my turn.
Okay, the whites. These whites...
Is it not Crowley next?
Oh yeah, sorry, Crowley, yeah.
Cool. Crowley is going to jump in here, again using the help action. Mm-hmm. And he also gets advantage because the creature's prone.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a 25 to hit.
Oh yeah, more than enough.
And so he's gonna get an extra d6 as well for using the help action.
2d6. Because of the coordinated attack.
Right.
Yeah.
Or no, it's, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be 10 damage.
Nice. Alrighty.
Does he stand up?
He will stand up on his turn. And the other two are going to go right for... They actually now have to dash to even get to Reaper, so they can't even attack this turn. So just 2 attacks at Reaper. Crit, but the other misses, so the crit's going to be 12 damage on Reaper. We go to Reaper.
All right. Well, Reaper's just going to tear into the skeleton that he was attacking beforehand. So he gets advantage from Crowley. Mm-hmm. And it's, sorry, Inspiring Help isn't a d6 to the damage, it's a d6 bonus, or I get a d6 bonus to the d20.
So you can add a d6 bonus to the d20 roll, but if you choose not to use it, you can add it to the damage instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a 25 to hit.
Yep.
Should I resolve all 3?
Well, it does fall prone again.
Awesome.
See the damage on this one? And then we'll just see, because you might destroy it with this attack.
Not if I keep rolling all ones.
Wow.
So that's 7 damage.
Okay, you will not destroy it with that attack.
All right, but
you still have 2 more attacks.
Now my other attack, this is going to be
does
with
have advantage. Yeah.
That's a crit.
Okay, that might do it.
So that's going to be...
And you're factoring that Reaper crits on a 19, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's going to be 15 damage.
That does destroy it. So you've got 1 attack left with Reaper.
All right. Turning to one of the other skeletons.
There's the spirit left behind.
I crit.
Wow.
16 damage.
Alrighty, and it falls prone. Nice.
Good job, Reaper.
So that leaves me over to the mage. Furious that you have continued to pursue him, he is actually going to he pulls back and his claws elongate and flash with deathly magic. And he just lunges at you.
Uh-oh, tree battle.
Makes 2 attacks. Getting a 15 and a 23 to hit.
I'm going to cast shield to block the 15.
Okay.
The 23 still hits.
You take 13 necrotic damage. And he's going to try to push you out of the tree.
Okay.
Give me an opposed strength check.
Uh-oh. I got a 5.
Okay, so he lunges right at you and pushes you out of the tree, and both of you fall to the ground. And both of you take 10 damage.
No, my beautiful back. 10 damage?
Yeah.
I need that.
And both of you land prone. Okay. And it is your turn.
All right. I stand up from prone. I'm gonna firebolt him.
With advantage. 'Cause
With
you're
advantage.
Right beside him, yeah.
That's gonna be 23 to hit.
Cool.
That's gonna be 16 more damage.
Alrighty. He's still not destroyed though.
Oh man.
Yeah.
As I stand over him, I'm actually going to step back a little bit, and I'm going to never done this before, but I'm going to cast Shadow Blade as a quicken spell.
Okay.
So as I stand to face him, I like pull a blade of shadow out of my cloak, and yeah, I stand before him with my shadowy sword that I've quickened. How long does that last?
Lasts for, I believe, a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And yeah, ready for combat.
Okay. All right.
Why not? It looks fun. We're
Okay.
trying stuff.
Sure. Trying stuff out. Well, in that case, we got Crowley.
Crowley is going to fly over to the prone skeleton using the help action. Mm-hmm. Getting a 19 to hit.
Yep.
Doing 9 damage.
Cool. That destroys it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good job, Crowley. Pecked out his eyes?
Yeah, pretty much.
Does
Yeah.
another spirit take its place?
Indeed it does. The final skeleton, it charges you, Sebastian. Getting 2 hits for a 23 and a 21.
Oh, both those hit. I didn't know it could make it to me. Fair enough.
Yeah, seeing you land on the ground, it just abandons your spiritual allies and goes right for you.
Was it based with Reaper? Would he get an opportunity attack?
He would, yeah. Which would knock me prone, potentially, negating the attacks.
So that's going to be a 24 to hit.
Okay. I make the strength save.
Of course you do. Getting 10 damage.
Okay, he does take 10 damage, but he does make it to you and deals a total of 15 points of necrotic damage to you. And we go to Reaper.
Reaper follows, angry, and leaps into the air, pouncing on this skeleton. Getting a 26.
It's a hit.
That's going to be for... Actually, with the help... Or no, he helped on the
Yeah,
one
it
that
was
died.
another one, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So that's going to be 6 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Does a 16 hit?
Yes.
For another 11 damage.
He is knocked prone.
Nice. And then last attack with advantage. Getting a 25 to hit.
Nice.
For 8 more damage.
Alrighty. That leaves us over to the Deathlock. The Deathlock stands. And it is going to... Seeing the situation is not going well for him, he is going to try to cast Hunger of Hadar.
Oh, wow. No, I'm going to counterspell that.
Okay. Seeing that, he's going to run away. Yeah. It is your turn, Sebastian.
Shadow step in front of him.
Yeah.
And gonna attack him with my sword.
Alrighty.
Of shadow.
So it's an attack with a finesse weapon. So it's your proficiency plus your dexterity to hit.
Really? I thought it used my spellcasting.
No, it doesn't.
It's not a great spell.
Yeah. But we're having fun.
Yeah, we're having fun. I want to kill him with a sword. So I'm gonna get, well, I mean, okay. I got a 24 to hit.
It hits.
So I do 2d8 psychic damage.
Cool.
So that's 4 damage.
That's enough to kill him.
Oh, nice. So I teleport, as he starts running away, I disappear in a puff of shadow, reappear right in front of him as my sword cuts through his head.
Nice. And as the body falls to pieces, the spirit is left behind with a hateful glare on her face.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And, yeah, and we'll just say that Crowley and Reaper are able to take out the last skeleton, leaving behind one more spirit. As the spirits linger, they stand looking at you, staring at you with eyes of anguish and hunger. And Lenneth says, "Well done." They crave the vitality that still lingers in you. But they and they lost. Do you want me to show you how I have survived here?
Is this the only way that I have to heal myself here?
Yes.
I look down at my, like, bruised and broken body. I don't know what injuries look like in the Shadow Realm, but I'm injured.
Yeah, it's the injuries to your body. What you sort of see is your body is kind of forming this imagined form of shadow stuff and dust. And where you've taken injuries, you see the spectral form of your own spirit beneath your body. Right? You should just be a spirit here. But the fact that you have a physical form is part of what gives you power here.
Do we expect more situations like this one?
Sebastian, danger will follow you for your whole life, as it did mine. And it will follow you after as well.
Okay. Show me.
Lenneth beckons you over to... She comes over actually to the spirit of the more powerful one. She says, "Imagine in your mind what it feels like to eat. What it feels like to drink. To be rested. Hold that in your mind. Then reach out to the spirit before you and take its heart. And what you see as you reach out with your hand is your hand almost becomes a claw of shadow. And the spirit, fear, forms in their face. As your claw reaches in, and it almost feels like placing your hand into gelatin or a cold goo. And as you reach towards it, you feel something warm.
I look down to not make eye contact. Once I notice the look of fear in its face, I look away. And as I feel the warmth, I pull it.
As you do so, you pull, you hear a wicked scream as the spectral heart beats in your hand. This vitality and energy leaking across the spiritual claw that your hand has become. Whatever remained of that spirit shatters like glass with a screech. There's only one more thing to do. As you devour the heart, roll me a d6.
3.
Okay. You can regain 3 levels worth of spell slots.
Oh.
And and you can roll basically 3 hit dice and regain that many hit points.
I look up to Lenneth and I say, I need more.
Just a moment. She gestures to the other spirits.
I walk over to the one that Reaper and Crowley are standing by. And I look at Reaper and Crowley and I go, guys, don't watch.
Reaper, like, you know how a dog like licks its chops?
Yeah.
That's what Reaper does. As Crowley actually flutters over to what the spiritual essence that remains of the first spirit, Crowley pecks it up.
Cool. I'm gonna do it again. I reach in.
Okay, roll a d6. Actually, in this case, it's just a d4.
2.
Okay, so again, 2 levels worth of spell slots, and
2 more hit die.
Mm-hmm.
I move to the next.
Okay, the remainder, it's just 1.
Just 1.
Yeah.
All right. That's probably good enough. So I do the 3.
You consume 3 of them.
Yeah, I leave 2 of them there.
The other 2 slowly wander away as quickly as they can. Lenneth asks you, how do you feel?
Better? I mean, I feel bad, but it was... They attacked me. I was wounded. I did what I had to.
Indeed. We do what we must.
Well, those souls I devoured, they were on their way to the abyss?
It's hard to say, but but you can take solace only in knowing that they had forms here meant that they would have done the same to you.
Okay. Is there any way for Reaper to heal?
Reaper and Crowley can take short rests, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll leave it for now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well done. You were strong. Where were we?
Your goals. I don't know what your goals were. I found your book in the clock tower. I've been trying to follow what it is you wanted from me, but your goals, if I bring you back, need to align with my goals and also my friends' goals.
She's a little taken aback, and she says, I would have thought that maybe just the promise of us being able to be a family again might have been enough to excite you by that, but I see that you are no less ambitious and driven than I am, and you've grown up without me, and that has been hard.
I mean, Mom, as much as I've wanted to know you, because I was born into a family of a blacksmith, and I was a sorcerer. I felt out of place. You were the only tie I had to what I was, but I never knew you. I had a difficult relationship with Dad, but I don't know how much you can see on the surface, and I hope I'm not the one to bear this bad news to you, but Dad remarried and has 3 kids, and I've gone to visit them quite a bit. They're really nice people, and I'm not without a family. I still lack the sense of belonging. Even at the academy, I didn't fit in. I was a problem student. So my magic's always, you were my tie to that, but the promise of a family, I have a family. You're a stranger. One that I care deeply about, but I don't know you.
Well, Sebastian, the good news is that as far as our people are concerned, you are really an infant. For us, the 30 years that you've lived your life so far will be but a blink of an eye compared to the thousands that you will yet live.
Okay, do I know? I actually am not sure. Does like half-elves, do they live a long time? Or is it kind of up in the air whether they take on more human lifespans or elven lifespans?
This is one of those like unknowns about things, but as a mage-born half-elf, it's more likely that Sebastian would have a very long life than a short human lifespan.
Cool. Would that be something that he knew?
Do you think that's something that you ever realized?
No, I don't think it is. I think because he grew up in a human household.
Yeah.
Really, besides his pointy ears, he's had no ties to, like, he learned Elven. But it's really his connection to elves has been through his own seeking. Nobody around him really helped him know about his Elven.
So you really know nothing about raised by a blacksmith. Do you know your way around a hammer at least?
No. I was not great in the forge. I was not great at school. School had some elves that, I talked to, but I was kind of busy blowing stuff up and summoning demons and trying to impress everyone.
Well, in that respect, I suppose you turned a little bit more like your father than myself, but you're young.
What is it you want to do when you get back?
Sebastian, what do you want to do when you get back?
For the longest time, this journey I've been on was a means to gain enough power to save someone I had wronged. I was in Drakkenheim to find out what I could, work for the Academy until they let me know their secrets so that they could teach me the wish spell, which I hear is a safeguarded... Do I know that? Would Sebastian know about the wish spell? Is it a rumor that the kids probably talk about?
The mightiest magic. Yeah.
There's rumors that the Academy safeguards the most powerful magic, and I thought if I worked for them, if I did what I needed to, I would raise the ranks, I would gain that knowledge, and I could save Mouse, and also in the process save Katerina, because she's different ever since I sent her sister to the Abyss. But along the way, I made friends. I rekindled a friendship with Veo, met back up with River, made a new, very important friend, Pluto. He's from Caspia, and I've been working on my own goals, but then I touched the Delirium Heart, Mom, and I saw things, and it's not about me anymore, it's about everybody. It's Pluto, Veo, myself, we joined forces with Von Kessel and a soldier, Rudy, and another mage of the Academy, Wrath. And together we're trying to stop Delirium from destroying our world. There's a lot going on. Veo's dad is trapped in a castle. Pluto's trying to win Caspia, the King's Moot or something. I don't know. We have a new king that we're trying to crown. Everybody's, though, working towards this one goal of, like, there's no point in all of our ambitions if there's no world to protect. And so it's become bigger than all of us, and there's people trying to stand in the way who want something different with Delirium, but Delirium's destroying our planet. And so I need to stop it.
Lenneth places her hands on your shoulders, embraces you, and looks you in the eyes and says, "You are doing everything I hoped you would do. I'm so proud of you."
I am?
Yeah. I didn't know when you came into this world whether you would be okay, whether you would do great things, whether you would find friends, whether you would find yourself, whether you would find your strength. I knew that you would make mistakes, terrible ones, just as I had. But you've done all of those things.
Mom, it's not enough. My mistakes. I've been a bad friend. I've been a liability. I've caused so many incidents.
Yeah. But your mom's here to help you now. And that was always the plan.
Okay. Where are we going?
I knew before you were born that something was going to happen. I didn't know what, but I've lived in the shadow of a mistake that I think I made a long, long, long time ago. When our people came to this world, We gave something up. And we couldn't figure out what that was. We didn't know why we'd come here. I didn't know what to make of it when I first arrived. It was at a place not far from Dransmond, a tower. It's a shadow of what it used to be, but I remember it as it once was. A gleaming beacon with hundreds of other elves there. All of us lost and confused, and not knowing why we were put here, why we had come here, where we had come from. And so we left out into the world. Not knowing what to do, but it always burned me in the back of my mind. As we survived and I saw others die, from sorcerer kings, conquerors, the paladins, we ran, and for so long I abandoned the idea of ever learning the truth. Our memories were just gone. I did return to that lighthouse once, though I was curious, and I found a tablet that spoke my name, Eventide. That was one of the only things that we had when we came. We could remember our magic and we could remember our names. And I couldn't help but feel that I had done something, that it was my fault. And I don't know why. But I've been looking for answers. And now, watching the mortal world and how things have changed, what you've learned, speaking with you and hearing, there are mistakes that were made, things that need to be fixed. But I can't help but feeling that what if history is going to repeat itself? And I don't want that to happen again.
Mom, when I touched the heart of Delirium, the crater where the impact was, I touched it and I saw a planet much like ours, cities, people, and I saw it get hit by a similar meteor, and I saw it spread and destroy until the planet was all barren and covered in delirium crystals everywhere until it just shattered apart and exploded, sending more out across the universe and colliding with other planets. And I don't know if what I saw was a future of our planet, something that happened in the past, a fabrication of what might be. I just know that when I saw it, it became clear how little the other problems were. I can't let history repeat itself, but you have to understand that also there's the very people I thought I could trust don't want delirium to go away, and I think they've been blinded by its potential, and I don't know what to do with that. We're talking some of the most powerful people in the world. Your former colleagues even, perhaps.
Yes. Some of them, though, are friends. Some of them we can trust. Some of them will help us. And some of them won't.
You're saying that you would get rid of delirium?
I'm saying that this world will be ruined if we don't.
Then we have similar goals. You could help us. You could help us talk to the Academy. You could help us figure out what to do. You're one of the most powerful mages in the world. Or you were. Maybe they'd listen to you.
They'll listen to us, Sebastian.
Right.
Once, and there are others. I know that you have dealt with the others of the Academy Directorate. I was there when it was founded.
Yeah, that checks out. I kind of forget how old you are sometimes, Mom.
I remember the day that we found that fortress of the Sorcerer Kings, and we brought it into the mortal world. When we met when we met Amaranthist, one of the other directors. And another has been my friend for some time. And I must say, it's only thanks to his help that I've been able to put some of these plans in motion.
Sorry, you brought a Sorcerer King tower? Over? From where? To where?
Yes, one of the Sorcerer Kings had built a fortress that as their empire was crumbling, well, more specifically, it was known as the Spire of Nox.
I thought it was destroyed in a battle in Lumen.
No, it was simply shifted to the space between worlds. When we founded the Academy, we brought it back out of the space between worlds and we planted it in Drakkenheim. It goes by a different name, but...
The Inscrutable Tower?
Yes.
I mean, that's the only one that makes sense. It's not the clock tower or the cathedral or the castle. The Inscrutable Tower was the Tower of Nox?
Yes.
I have an apartment there.
Well, it might have once been a place used by one of the viziers of the Sorcerer Kings.
Wow.
Yes, the director's office there used to be one of the apartments of the Sorcerer Kings at the time. The whole thing, the entire structure, all built in that time. The most powerful magic in the world comes from the time of the Sorcerer Kings.
And this friend of yours, does Sebastian know the Academy? No, nobody knows.
No, Sebastian does not know the names of the directorate.
Okay, yeah. This friend of yours on the directorate, would you know where to find them?
I believe he is still in Lumen.
Huh.
Everything in time. But when we get back, perhaps we can make some introductions. The Directorate has always been a much more divided council. Even from the very beginning, there were always disagreements right away. And there have been rivalries and differences of opinion and plans.
You talk to our friend Wrath. Are you aware who Wrath is? Do you know who his parents
I can
are?
surmise.
We met his dad.
Alabaster.
I don't think he's on our side. He may or may not have put me in a cone of silence and then made some sort of bargain with one of our arch nemesis, the Queen of Thieves, to sell a robot army, android creation construct things.
Alabaster's a brilliant mage, but Penumbra manipulates him endlessly. The two of them are dangerous.
I kind of got that was my first full-on actual face-to-face interaction with a directorate member. Didn't go well, didn't leave a good taste in my mouth. I've been a little wary on my position in this academy ever since. It feels like they lost their way, but
Yes, because you're a little reminder to Alabaster and Penumbra that they're not the only ones that can play the little game that they've been playing.
I'm playing the game?
No. Alabaster and Penumbra have children of their own.
Right.
Yes. It's always been the intent of Alabaster and Penumbra to have children of their own that could rise the ranks. 2 children of their own would mean that a single family controls half the directorate.
I mean, they didn't seem to like... I mean, Wrath's dad didn't like him very much, I think because he wasn't born with magic. River's an exceptional mage. But I mean, I've surpassed her in most spellcasting.
Good.
We're not going to do anything to River, though. River and Wrath are good people. Despite who their parents may be, they're friends.
Hopefully we don't. Time will tell where their loyalties lie, won't it? If they were to turn on you, would we side with their parents against you and I? Where would that leave us?
They wouldn't. Would they? Would they? River and I have been friends since we were little kids. First, we were in every class.
Yes, and I was friends with Penumbra for many, many years. We should continue.
Very well.
If you are to do what must be done, if you wish to return with me, we will need to find a spirit here that you have a powerful connection to.
Someone I killed? Or someone who's died that was close to me?
Those could both work. Someone whom perhaps you knew when they were alive. If you killed them, even better. But if you were present at their death, that would be acceptable. And you will need to devour their spirit.
Okay, the first person that came to my mind, I don't want to do it. I already feel really bad for what happened to them. I gotta think of somebody else. Does it have to be like I killed a bunch of paladins. Can it be like Bill the Paladin? Will he do? I'm pretty sure one of their names was Bill. Because when I set him on fire, another paladin went, "Bill, no!" And so it's just kind of a guess.
If we were to find them in the Shadowlands, you will need to be able to know who they were. That will give you the ability to pull us through towards wherever they might be. If you don't have a strong enough memory of them, it could take us aeons to find them.
Monsters? Do monsters count? Do monsters end up here?
That can be tricky. A mortal spirit would be best.
Oh man, I wish Theo and Pluto were here to tell me any name other than Theodore Marshall. I can't. I mean, I could. Nobody would know. We're already here. He's already dead.
If there's anyone else that you could think of, others that you've defeated, destroyed, others that you've known and lost. But a paladin would be very good. Poetic, almost.
Kind of doubles down on my villain era. I mean, the Lord of the Feast?
Such a monster. No, you'll need a mortal spirit.
So no Rat Prince, no Red Dot. I mean, there is Oscar Yorn, but I mean, that was when I was barely a successful mage and he blew himself up. I mean, is that really a powerful soul? He was a bit of, like, he was smart.
Where did he destroy himself?
In the Inscrutable Tower.
A place of power.
I mean, if it means not...
The spirit of another mage could be quite potent here in the Shadowlands. In fact, it's quite possible that he could even have been strong enough to manifest a form here.
And I mean, if it stops me from double murdering Theodore Marshall... I mean, for the record, Pluto's the one who killed him, okay? It wasn't me. I just killed 20 paladins immediately afterwards. Which, for some reason, people don't seem to talk as much about. But I guess Theodore was really important. Oscar Yorn, nobody liked that guy. Like, no, I'm pretty sure his assistant was even like, oh, you killed Oscar, oh no. I mean, I think we blew up his assistants as well. Oscar would maybe work.
His would be a spirit heavy with anguish, anger, hate. One bound certainly for the abyss.
I mean,
Theodore Marshall, on the other hand, may prove potent, elusive. If he was a righteous man, his spirit will be able to see things here that you and I cannot.
There was this whole thing about him dying and, like, it not being the end, and I mean, he's extremely devoted to the light, so there's supposed to be a light down here that I'm assuming I can't see because reasons. But Theodore's, I mean, he's been dead also for like a year now. He's probably on his way to the light or whatever.
These things take time. Let us travel onward and see what we can find. Keep them in your mind.
I'll gladly devour Oscar. Like that guy was a dweeb.
Okay. Focus your mind. And when you sense the direction to go, lead on.
With my eyes closed, I step in a random direction that feels right.
Very good.
And then I trip over a rock because my eyes are closed. This way.
All right, let's continue. All right. From here, your journey through the Shadowland feels like it stretches on for uncounted time. let's start. I'll have you roll me a d6, and I'm also going to roll one.
6.
Okay. As you travel the Shadowlands, you see in the distance the shattered remains of a chapel of the Sacred Flame. And in the midst of that chapel is a burning flame, a light in the darkness, brightly shining in a golden flame. Several spirits bask in this light and warmth. And you see several of them kneeling in prayer. A few walk up to it, they pray, and then, as if filled with radiance, the spirits rise. They look to the horizon, a horizon where you only see darkness. And with purpose and a glow to them, they continue on their journey.
Well, guess that proves the Silver Order's theories, right?
Lenneth smirks. You must understand, Sebastian, that out beyond the mortal world, the collective will of mortal imagination reverberates through the planes and other worlds. You've heard of the Dreamland, yes?
Yeah.
The Dreamland is perhaps the most malleable to mortal sensibilities. But the Shadowland and Dreamland and the very other worlds, they are all places, echoes of the mortal world, and thus subject to the imaginations, the hopes, the dreams, and fears of mortals. And that...
Oh.
Yeah, so...
But if mortals' conscious creates elements in these other realms, does that mean that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy? The sacred flame spurred into existence on a belief that then manifested itself prior to the sacred flame. Was there no flame? Was there no horizon?
That is one of the great mysteries of our world. To know what came first, the spark or the flame.
Ah, that old riddle.
But it seems to me that just as the first bonfires were lit from a few ingenious mortal minds, realizing what happens when you rub together a few sticks of wood.
Is that how you make fire?
Sebastian, not having a mother in your life has really not given you a lot of self-sufficiency. I feel like there are some core life skills that you are really gravely missing.
Mom, when I was 2 years old, I started a fire by sneezing.
Well, and my point being is that lightning also strikes and causes fires. Who is to say whether our imagination or our nature, what was it that sparked these ideas? What was it that brought our world the way it was, the way it is? Maybe it is that there is something older, like the lightning that strikes, like the flashes from the sun and the stars. Maybe those primordial flames have burned brightly for countless aeons, beckoning us towards something greater. Or maybe they're just a flight of fancy, a candle of hope in an unending sea of darkness. The thing that I have always respected most about the human's religion, though, is the idea that one must carry the flame, must fuel the flame. I have always believed that it is upon us to make the world, lest the world make us.
I mean, Mom, I've lived most of my life with kind of avoiding the whole flame thing, being a man of shadow and death. Me and the Paladins never saw eye to eye. Long history there.
Neither did I. I'll not forget when they murdered your aunt. When... Well, of course you've got a whole family on my side.
We've never talked about it.
Who would have told you?
I don't know, Dad?
Yes, well, it was some... It's not like men to really absorb the details of what they're... of when women speak to them about their families. It's... Your father was a lovely man, but sometimes he really missed the details. And of course, I have a large family. Well, had.
Are they all gone? Do we still have family?
Perhaps a few cousins in the Isles of Skye still survive. Maybe.
Whoa. I should try to find them.
It's been a long time.
I could have a cousin.
Yes, it was during the dark days when the Sacred Flame decided they wanted to destroy us. There have always been those who have wanted to hunt down our people. Nevertheless, we need not linger here too long.
What happens if we approach the flame?
I don't know. Go.
With Reaper by my side, which seems ill-advised to bring a shadowy hound into the ruined temple of the Sacred Flame, but I'm going to do it anyway. I approach just to the outskirts, just where I'm like barely outside the glow of the fire.
One of the spirits who is kneeling near the flame, as you approach, stands up. As he turns around, you see a familiar face. It says, "Well, by the flame, Sebastian Crow. Not one I expected to see here in the Shadowlands. It's been a long time, hasn't it?" As Theodore Marshall, resplendent in armor and carrying a blazing sword, stands up to greet you. You can see here in the Shadowlands the Paladin's bright spirit. Encased in armor, he is embodied here.
Let me start off by apologizing. Seems things went not great during our last talk, Theodore. Pleasure to see you.
So what gotcha?
You know, long story short, acid.
Crying shame. Crying shame. Well, you've come to a good spot. Lots of spirits here, lingering on, but I help them find their way. It's a good place to be.
You doing all right?
I'm doing what I thought I would be here to do. For many of us, being a paladin of the sacred flame. It means a service to something greater than ourselves in life and in death. And here, well, I keep this place, keep it safe from those that would disturb the righteous spirits that pass through here, those that would try to prey on them, pull them down to the abyss. Stand vigilant, just as I stood with my soldiers and my brothers and sisters. Make sure that they all make their way up that way over yonder. You see it? Beautiful, isn't it? He points to a horizon where all you see are black clouds.
Mm-hmm. Looks, whoa. You know? Just words can't even describe it, Theodore. It's, quite the sight.
Can't see it, can you?
Why, I just said I could. Why would I, why? What?
That's the place where dawn breaks over the Shadowlands.
Dawn, yeah.
The place where the sacred flame calls us all home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, home. The light that burns within us all, you know? Flame. Candle, you light one spark, you know, is what they say, can light a whole bunch of candles, and the flame is not diminished by sharing, Theodore. And that's what I think of when I look out at that dawn there. Just the power of it all, you know? It's so good.
He chuckles. You know, if you can't see it, it don't mean you're never gonna find it here.
I'll make sure to let people who can't see it know that, Theodore. Mm-hmm.
You just mind your step. I'd hate for you to turn into find the abyss, and knowing you, them demons down there got some plans for you. And I imagine they'll turn you into some kind of wicked thing that I would really, really not want to know that had happened to you. Not the least of which because of all the havoc you might wreak as a demon. That probably wouldn't be good.
Theodore, since I have this rare opportunity, I really need to ask you something. My best friend, he has a new best friend now, but I mean, he's my best friend, Pluto. He doesn't talk about it a lot, but I know he carries that battle with him. But it was a fair fight. Can I want to tell him that you're okay here. Do you hold any resentment? Do you hold any anger?
Holding on to those things when you're here, it only weighs you down. Any of that fear, any of that regret, anguish, despair, those things are like stones. They're like shackles right around your ankles. And here in the Shadowlands, they will pull you down. I have lived my life to do around doing what's right. And here, in my death, I will continue to do so. Till one day that light, I'll look up at it and it'll be so bright. And that's when I'll know it's time for me to go home. But until then, I mean to make sure that every spirit that comes this way makes it there themselves.
When you say like despair and regret and those emotions weigh you down here, you're meaning metaphorically, right?
No. I mean very literally.
I look down at my feet to see if there's any shackles on them.
What you notice is that, and you've noticed this for a little while, is that when you stand still, you sink.
I look at Theodore. Is he sinking?
No. Like, Theodore himself is you could not call him a shade here.
Yeah.
He is a gleaming spirit.
Yeah.
Even though he does bear the wound of Ignatius that Ignatius made on him, as a rent, but instead of, like, your body that you have here is composed of, like, dust and mud and bone, but his is an armor of faith that is manifested around his spirit.
Well, Theodore, it's good to see you, and honestly, I'm gonna make it back up there, I know, and when I do, I'm gonna tell Pluto about this. It's gonna help him out. He's kind of been back and forth on a lot of stuff ever since he struck you down. It's thought about joining the Order for a little while. He thought about jamming delirium in his chest for a little while. He thought about, I don't know, he's had a tough time of it, and I just want him to be okay.
You know, doubt, that's something that, more than anything else, when you have doubt, that just sinks you right down into the earth here. It's not even like a weight, just that sinking feeling. And that doubt makes you never want to stop moving. Like, you always gotta keep going, never in one place for too long, otherwise you'll just sink right under like a stone in the sea. But you don't have to doubt when what you're thinking of doing is the right thing. When what you have in mind is to help others, you know. And Sebastian, for myself, I've been here a while now, and I've had that time to think about what it was all for. Why? And I've spoken to a fair amount of spirits, and I can see it in you. You think about what your purpose is, what you're meant to do.
Yeah.
But if it gives you anything, you don't have to be born to do great things. To do great things. You don't have to be born to do the right thing. To do the right thing. You don't have to be born to save the world. To save the world. After all, you were born into it.
Yeah,
The more time you go around thinking what you were meant to do, instead of what you ought to do, instead of what you want to do,
I've never thought of it that way. I always just... I've been trying to move towards my purpose. I feel like I was created, not born. I feel like I was put here with a single purpose that I needed to discover, but that doesn't account for the friends, the family, the people I've helped, the people I've hurt. All of that was just me, I suppose.
Hey, at the end of the day, it's all just us. The flame, for the flame, it's what you do. It will always guide you, and it is always there.
I feel like after this talk, Sebastian sinks a little less.
And with that, I think that's what we'll end for the night.
Cool.
A big thank you, as always, to Kelly for playing this solo sidekick mission this evening. And I guess we will continue Sebastian's adventures in the Shadowlands.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Big thank you as well to Kyle for being here as my wingman. I needed somebody. I needed somebody to stare at me longingly from the sidelines with his hand.
Well, and a big thank you to Jill and Joe, who will, of course, be with us we're not quite sure if we're going to be alternating these or how we're going to do this, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, and a huge thank you to our Dungeon Master, Monty Martin, for running the game tonight and taking me on this solo adventure, using the sidekick rules, which this is our first time trying them out in, like, a long play, and I tried a sidekick, like, one other time.
Yeah, not too bad.
Not too bad. They did really well in combat. Reaper was a bit of a beast.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah, I felt like the encounter balance was actually okay as well, right? Like that was kind of like us testing them out for the first time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. In our game tonight, we have a variety of incredible assets produced by talented artists. Obviously, there's the Dwarven Forge, as well as we have some 3D printed terrain. Who are the 3D
printed tabletop for the big trees.
Yeah, the big trees. We have our miniatures by WizKids and Hero Forge, and our character artwork by Elizabeth Pro, as well as music by Tabletop Audio. Also be sure to visit our merch store at bit.ly/DungeonDudesMerch.
Our videos and live streams are made possible because we have an amazing Patreon community supporting our work. If you want to get in on our Patreon community, follow the links down below.
We also have a phenomenal Discord community exclusive for our patrons, so if you're joining us on Patreon, make sure to hop onto our Discord where you can chat with us about all things Drakkenheim, D&D, or anything else you want.
Don't forget to check us out over on YouTube as well. Make sure you like and subscribe so that you always hit up the latest videos.
And be sure to join us next Tuesday when we broadcast the campaign on Twitch. Check us out from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes.
Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time in Drakkenheim.